share, tag, well, Forus, and comment as well. We definitely want to hear what you have to say. I am excited about tonight's show. I just want to jump right into it. But real quick, shout out to my bro, Pastor Rob, for the awesome flyer that you see. If you have any flyers needed, please highlight him. He is amazing and dope. Tonight, we are talking about accountability. It's something that has been deep in my heart. And I definitely want to know what it looks like, what it sounds like, and not just in church, but even in your relationships, your friendships. What does accountability look like? So I have a couple of guests with me. The first guest is one of my accountability partners, my friend and my brother. He was my pastor for a little while when I used to play for him, but then he fired me because he said he caught me stealing drumsticks on my day off. Shout out to the entrepreneur, the pastor, him, the overseer, the king of banana pudding, also singer and songwriter. Let's give it up for Pastor Jay Hen.
What's up, Pastor Dre?
Yo, what's good? What's good, big bro? Before we get started, just tell the people about yourself, what you got coming up.
Oh man, Pastor J from Brooklyn, New York. They call me a serial entrepreneur. Um, I am the CEO of All Things Apparel, which, by the way, just added fur coats to our repertoire. We now have minks
What is
available.
that, velvet?
Yeah, man. I'm stretching into uncharted areas, and we got some hot minks, man. Hot mink jackets, full length minks. So yeah, we stretching it, man. But I'm a published author, producer, songwriter, senior pastor for 12 years now, and just somebody
Definitely
that loves
salute that.
God, people, man. Yeah.
Definitely salute that. So, bro, you have been one of my accountability partners for I believe it's like over 10 years now.
Mhm.
What from your now you up there, so now we consider you a OG, a unk in
Yeah.
the game. So before we get into the relationship part of it as a pastor,
Mhm.
um and shout out to my spiritual dad, Bishop Reggie Boyce is on here.
One of my
Um
one of my major influences in life, Bishop Reggie Boyce. I love that man. Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, he's definitely amazing. So from a shepherd standpoint, because I know I want to talk about this because I know the personal relationship part is something that we gonna dive into and we might not be able to make it back. So I want to start with this from a personal standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint. What does accountability look like to you?
Um, just presenting a plan of practicality. Because I think a lot of times from a pastoral perspective, um, some leaders go so deep that they drown the people. And,
Mm,
and God is a God of practical principles. And I think that if we become ocular proof by the life that we live, that's the best way to become accountable because all of us need something to judge who and what we are against.
mm,
For instance, with the love piece, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. So to me, love is broken down into two words: intent and extent. When I say I love you, Dre, the intent is for you to believe it, but you will only know it by the extent that I'm willing to go to prove it. And so
mm,
that's the practicality of just becoming, because a lot of people miss out on human being. I'm a human being flawed. I'm a human being perfected. I'm a human being that makes mistakes. I'm a human being that has success. I have some highs and some lows, but accountability is me granting access to someone that is a trusted voice that will guide me through accountability. and help me not just to point out my errors, but also help me to recover my
Mm.
errors. And a lot of times, you know, we as pastors preach greatness, but the minute that the person that we're preaching greatness to is exposed by their flaws, we kill them. We kill their influence, we kill their reputation, we kill their name, because a lot of leaders don't know how to preach greatness and actually watch greatness manifest and possibly surpass them. And that's where the accountability comes in, that I trust you to correct me, not to kill me. Because
Wow.
a
Say
lot of
say that
times
one more time, bro. That was good. That was
I,
good. Say that.
I trust you to correct me, not to kill me. Because
Mm.
a lot of people associate accountability with crucifixion. And that's not the way that it goes. Accountability means that you love me enough to know my flaws, but still remember my potential.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and when you remember my potential, that's why when Saul was chasing David, he tried to kill him with the javelin about 34 times. And when you research in the scripture, there's a psalm that we all know that says, "And he leads me beside the still water." And the only reason why God led David by the still water is because when you're standing in front of a body of still water, the only person that you see is yourself. So that was God's way of reminding him that even though this guy is out of pocket, don't forget who you are. Don't forget
Mm.
what you've done. Don't forget how messed up and how messy you were. And remember what I said, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. You may want to get back at him, but don't forget. And he does that by becoming a reflective mirror, by placing him in front of a body of still water. So it just, accountability for me also helps me to remain humble because of my position. Because a lot of times leaders, we have access to so much praise and so much, accolades, and sometimes we can forget, who we are and who we were and where God brought us from. So accountability is wrapped
Wow.
up in mercy and grace.
Okay. Okay. You said you said something and that was definitely by the leading of the Holy Ghost, because you said something that I definitely wanted to tap into. And you talked about people equating accountability to the crucifixion.
Mm,
So in other words, if you're exposed publicly,
mm,
um I'm just supposed to throw you out. You ain't no good. Forget about everything good that you did prior to having your moment.
mm,
I teach this to my church. A lot of times we judge people based on one moment.
right.
I think the hardest part about being a pastor is the fact that, yo, I'm human.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the same things that you are privy to, the same temptations, the same and I'm not talking about, because anytime people hear temptation, they always think sex. I'm
Right.
talking about I could be tempted to knock you out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could be
Yeah.
tempted to cuss you out. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yeah.
in people's mind, pastor equates to being sinless.
Mm,
And that's not the case. I just have a certain charge over my life. But what I wanted to tap into, because you said something that was so profound. Why is it that people think because you don't join the jump on them gang
mm,
that you're condoning
right.
whatever the mistake is? One
Mm,
thing I tell people is, my bishop holds me accountable.
right.
My pastor, Reverend Dr. Darlene Day, she
Mm,
holds me accountable.
mm,
The thing is, she just doesn't publicly crucify me.
right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know the conversations behind closed doors. And
Yeah,
that's something that I don't think they should be privy to.
yeah. I
What?
think because your pastor keeps in mind that you have to remain usable, even though flawed.
Mm,
Because if I deal with you publicly, and then in some cases I may have to, depends on what the action has been on your part, because the scripture does talk about public sin. Some public sins require public rebuke. But when you're dealing with a leader that has wisdom, I want you to remain usable in the eyes of the people. Because if you have been sent to my ministry to assist me and I kill your influence, I kill your voice because of flaws and because of proclivities, then I have eliminated the blessing that you are to my work. So
wow.
my job as a leader is to show you compassion and let you understand, and the people understand, there's a difference between me condoning and me covering. You know,
Break that
me
break that down, because people think that those are the same thing.
not condoning means I'm with the mess. I'm here for it. Um, I'm encouraging you. I'm the plug for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm your ride or die while you doing it. But that's condoning. Me covering says that I know that this is a phase that you're going through. And
Mm,
through me presenting you the gospel. And see, that's the thing that people don't understand. In this day and time, we hear a lot of psychological and philosophical messages. That's not what changes the heart of a man. When the church gets back to preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, with, like you said, the name of this is Raw and Uncut, just giving it to people straight, no chaser. That's what changes the heart of people, not all this other stuff. So I'm going to just preach to you the gospel, but in a practical way, because I remember my years of going through, my years of struggling, and even still, because I graduated from one struggle, don't mean I don't have another. And
mm.
sometimes people don't remember grace and mercy until they get caught into a jam. But my responsibility as a leader is to deal with you and help you to understand when we sin, we have been taught that the breach is between leader and parishioner, but the
Mm.
breach is between you and God. So my job as the leader is to figure out or help you figure out what the root is of that breach and to get you reconciled back to God. Because once you get reconciled back to God, you and I automatically will be reconciled because you will understand that every time you go against the word and the will of God, what you do to him. And because of your love for him, it now gives you restraint. And that's the thing. I am afraid of people, Dre, that have no restraint. Because we all got stuff with us. We all got stuff, and our flesh is a retainer. We remember what we like. We remember what we did. We remember what we didn't like. And if we get put back in that situation again, we got to fight to get out of it. Because
Right.
there's a strong possibility that any of us could go and do what we used to do. That's why the analogy is if you put a steak in a lion's cage, don't tell that lion not to eat that steak because
Right.
naturally he's going to jump on it.
Exactly.
Best thing to do is keep the steak and the lion separate. That way, nobody will jump on nothing they ain't supposed to jump. It's wisdom, it's safety, it's restrictions. I want the tiger to eat, the lion to eat vegetables. I'm not going to put meat in the cage and tell him, you better not. No, because by nature, he's going to jump all on it. When he smell it, when he see it, it's going to do something to him. It's going to release some dopamine in his body, and he's going to want to jump on it. That's the same way with us when we're dealing with the things that we like. Because in church, we're so phony, we're so ostentatious. We got this whole mass stuff, and you know what you fight, you know what you struggle with in private. So the best thing to do is just stay away from it and allow the grace of God to mature you and help you to see. Because one thing I learned, bro, is that the enemy never advertises the price of sin.
Mm.
Because if he did, we all would remember that we can't afford it. Because
Wow.
that little moment that you have with your shorty or your jump off or scamming, doing whatever it is you're doing, smoking, drinking, whatever it is, after it's done, was it worth it? And 9 times out of 10 it's not. But he never advertises the price. He just shows us the for sale sign and presents it as a
Mm.
bargain. Like, yo, you really getting a great deal right now until you have to pay for it. And by that time, most of our lives have been altered and jammed up. It's just his grace helps us to get back on track.
So let me ask you this, and then I want to segue into the next segment. But before I even go there, I need you to do me a favor. I know you graduated from seminary, but I don't have my dictionary on hand. So can you please stop using these big
I'm
words?
sorry. Yes,
I
yes.
I said ostentatious. Like, first of all, we from Brooklyn. Who talks like that? Like, I don't know what type of followers you think I got, but most of us only got a high school diploma.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so
What up, homies? What up, all the homies?
right,
I
like
can talk that talk too. I can
I know
flip
you.
that.
I know you could. All right. So what I want to ask is, why do you think that that people are afraid of this word or try to use it to manipulate? And I'm after you answer, I'm going to tell you why I asked you that specifically.
Are people afraid of accountability?
Yeah, why are they afraid of it, or why do they sometimes use it to manipulate?
Um, because of insecurity on both ends. Um, if I have to use accountability to manipulate you, that's because I'm afraid that you're going to pass me. And I have to keep my foot on your neck to keep you at a certain point. Because it's almost like you have a man, a older man can either teach you how to fish or take you fishing. If he
Mm,
just continues to take you fishing, you need him. But if he teaches you how to fish, sooner or later, you'll be able to go fishing by yourself. And the fear that a lot of leaders and just people have is the fear of you not needing me anymore.
wow,
You know what I'm saying?
wow.
And because there's certain benefits that even leaders get having people need them. That's why a lot of preachers don't preach the whole role, because my job as a pastor is to preach to you at such a level that you understand, comprehend, and become. Understand,
Mm,
comprehend, and become. And when you do that, there's a possibility that you might, in some process, develop your own relationship with God.
right.
Develop, your own prayer life where you don't have to pray through and, like in the Old Testament, like you got to go to the priest to get to God. No, my job is to teach you in the word of God at such a practical level that you can stand on business, that you 10 toes down on your own without me. And when we come together, it'll be like Wonder Twin Powers activating. We can shape and form anything, but you're independent of me as well. And a lot of people benefit from your lack of knowledge. They benefit from your lack of security, your lack of self awareness. So they're only going to give you tidbits. But when you deal with secure leadership that understand accountability is me empowering you not to compete you, but to complete you and make
Mm,
you and help you to become everything that God called you to be, I'll pour out with no strings attached. And I also understand if I want you to be accountable to me, I also have to be accountable to you. I'm not above the law because I'm a pastor. I'm not God because I'm a pastor. And the Bible says rebuke not an elder. Yet we take that stuff too far because even pastors need accountability partners. Some people that's not yes men. Because that's the
mm.
way to destroy a gift in this world is having yes men around them.
You know what? That is that is the truth.
Yeah.
And
I thank God that, the people that God has surrounded me with, that, they cover me. But and because there's been some conversations we've had
Yeah,
privately where you've called me,
yeah.
and you've never. I think there's safety in knowing that if my name is brought up in certain negative conversations, I know there's certain people that I can trust
Mm-hmm.
to defend my name,
Yeah.
not laugh, not go
Mm-hmm.
with the and and all transparency. I just went through something recently, and uh I was heartbroken because these were people that I thought I can hold myself accountable to.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, nah, y'all part of the mob. Y'all,
Yeah.
no, we don't say my bad. You are op too.
Right.
You with them.
Mm-hmm.
Got you, heard you. But then there were the faithful, like you, Al, um, Tamika, Andrew, Dante, Jacinda. Like I had my faithful from
Right.
the beginning, my day ones who
Yeah.
were just like, yo, you don't even need to respond to that. Like, don't
Yeah.
we know you, we know. And then there was some like, you did it, but all right, we gonna deal with you, but don't worry about, what I'm saying. Don't worry about what's being said. What I want to ask you is, and the reason why I asked you that was I saw something on TikTok where people were saying that, and this was a podcast, I can't remember which one it was
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok, and I was scrolling, and this was a Christian podcast, but they were telling people that in this day and age pastors are not needed. And for me, I literally just shared this with my aunt a couple of days ago. I thank God that I have a woman of wisdom who I can be accountable to,
Yeah.
who, when I want to respond in flesh or respond the way Andre wants to respond, it's kind of like, yo, because what I realize is that when we're not accountable to somebody, we can do more damage to our future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're that generation, like, yo, I'm not gonna let nobody say nothing crazy. You're not gonna post about me crazy. You're not gonna
Mm-hmm.
go spreading gossip about me crazy. But sometimes we need a tame voice
Yeah.
who's not in the situation and can correctly hear from God. Because
Yeah.
most of the time, we're not even accountable to God. So how can
Mm-hmm.
I expect you to be accountable to me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
The human
No,
experience is so fragile, man. Um, if you would have told me 15 years ago that I would be dealing with what I'm dealing with right now on a personal level, I would have laughed at you. I'd be like, yo, you crazy. But, life is a round table and everybody gets a turn.
wow,
And,
that's
and,
good.
and, and what happens when it's your turn, that's the opportunity for me to sow love and kindness to cover, not condone your wrong, help you get back on track. Because if I keep living, something's gonna happen in my life where I'm gonna need you. You know what I'm saying?
You sound
And
like Bishop Boyce. Keep on
keep
living.
living. Yo, the old people used to say that. Now I'm 50 and I'm like, yo, it's the truth. If you keep living, you're gonna run into something that's gonna rock you, man. It's gonna take the wind out of you, and you're gonna need somebody that understands the frailty of human experience, of being a man trying to figure it out, being a young lady trying to figure it out, especially in the church, the most unforgiving place, full of the messiest people on the planet. And just because my sin has become public and yours hasn't, that doesn't mean you're not just as guilty and in some cases more guilty than I am. It's just that I've been exposed. And one thing people look at exposure as a bad thing, but the only thing that can produce healing is exposure. If I
Wow.
if I cut you on your arm right here and I cover it up, after a while, anybody with sense gonna tell you, yo, Dre, take that off and let that wound breathe. Because the
Mm.
only thing that's gonna heal that is exposure. So exposure is not always a negative thing. Sometimes that's the best thing to help you to understand I don't need to do this anymore. Because exposure is one of the first steps to healing. So it's all about perspective. But in this culture, we look at it as, oh, let's pull each other down. Let's that's an opportunity for me to get one up on him, one up on her, because they got caught. And the truth is, if God was to, this is going to show my age. You're probably too young to remember this, but there was a show years ago called This Is Your Life. And what would happen on that show is there would be a movie screen and they would have the individuals in the auditorium and they would show stuff that nobody else knew.
Wait, can I see this on you? Can I find this show on YouTube?
You might be able to. It was out when I was a kid, but I never forgot that show, man. And I always kept that in mind, like, yo, Jay, what if God put everything that you thought did on a screen and made it visible to everybody? Nobody would want to hear me preach. Nobody would want to invite me to sing. I wouldn't be an overseer. I wouldn't be anything other than just out there doing what I wanted to do. But because grace and mercy covered me, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't always practice this. I was one of the main ones that when something happened, I'm screenshotting it, sending it to people, laughing, joking, until a storm hit my life.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I did it to people that I said I loved.
Wow.
And I had to check myself. I was like, yo, that's not being a real G. That's not being a real friend. Like, what would it be if it was your daughter? If it was your kid, and then it became my daughter. It became my family. And it just changed my entire perception of, there you go. That's it right there.
It's a black.
Yeah, that's how old it was.
This is black and white.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And it would show things about people that nobody knew, and it would be exposed for everybody to watch. And that's kind of what creates restraint in me. Sometimes my response when people call me has been this for the past 3 months, Dre, and it has saved my name. That's why you don't hear my name in nothing no more. My response is always this: a wise man once said nothing. When people call me with stuff, when stuff come to my phone, yo, Pastor, what you think about this? A wise man once said nothing. And I don't care how much pressure they try to get me to go in and talk.
Jay, did you see that?
Yo, shut up, Marshall.
What?
I ain't that old, y'all.
I'm about to say, is that true?
No, it ain't true. Stephen Marshall is 47. What are you talking about? He's 47 years old. I'm 3 years old taking him to daycare. Come on, man. But seriously, that kind of stuff keeps me, and sometimes it's hard because some people, because of their, ferocious behavior, it's like, good, you're getting what you deserve, but it kind of bounces back to me like, yo, what if God gave me what I deserve? So I'm just learning, man, not to say nothing, because sometimes that's the best thing, because silence can't be repeated.
Yo, I remember I called, I was mad about something, and I called my bishop, and I was just like, yo, Dad, can I respond? And he said, and he talks, I sometimes I dislike talking to older people because they make the solution to your problem sound so simple.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, and I remember him basically saying what you said. He said, okay, you respond, and then what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what you mean? I'm like, this is my reputation. And I remember he said to me, he said, if they know you, then they won't believe it.
Right.
But you responding is only gonna make the other person respond, and then it's just, he said, you ain't doing nothing but giving them a show. Which brings me to the next segment that I want to talk about, and I know everybody's gonna have an opinion on here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I want to thank my big bro overseer Jason Hendrickson for joining me and giving us his 50 years of wisdom. I've always wanted to make fun of the fact that he's
Y'all are
50 years.
dragging this 50 thing, man.
I always wanted to make fun of the fact that he's 50 years old, because in his mind he's so young. But when I hear him talk about being now, he's an OG and he's an uncle. This is this is
I
this,
accept it.
this is hilarious to
And
me.
I'm
So
gonna tell y'all what they used to tell me. You better hope, Sonny, you get to live to see my age.
well, I got 11 years to go, so I'll be all right. But
Yes, sir.
but question. So now we brung it from the spiritual aspect.
Mhm.
What does accountability and relationships look like? And that can be romantic, that can be in friendships. Because I know one thing I know about you personally is you take your friendships very, very serious.
Yeah,
You are you I'll give you that. You suck at basketball, but you are very
hey,
loyal.
you don't want that smoke, boy.
you
You don't want that smoke. You already got it
you
one time.
you you are a very loyal dude. If you call somebody your brother,
Yeah.
you mean that. So from the friendship or you could do it together, what does accountability look like to you? From
Reciprocity.
okay.
Reciprocity.
Hey, there go them words again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just told you about that.
Reciprocity, it means whatever I am to you, I demand that you are to me. Period. In any relationship, in friendship, romantically, if I'm loyal to you, I demand that you're loyal to me. There's no way at this point of of life that we are still just giving, and not receiving. God doesn't even operate like that. God puts it like this: I woke you up, you ought to praise me. And if you don't praise me, I'm so adamant about it that I will cause an inanimate object to praise me if you won't. The rocks will cry out. So God is understanding the importance of fair exchange, because where there's fair exchange, there's no robbery. So I guess I've taken over the Raw and Uncut show. I don't know where Dre Rumble is, but yeah, that's what it is for me. Just understanding that whatever I am to individuals, you must be to me. Because what happens is, if that's not the exchange, you become drained, you become exhausted, and you feel used. And I need people to understand, I don't mind you using me, but don't abuse me, don't misuse me. Because if you're not using me, that means I'm not usable. And if I'm not usable, that means I'm useless. So I don't mind you using me, because I understand I'm going to use you as well. There's got to be certain benefits that I get from connecting to anybody in this season. That goes from leadership to female companionship, my homies. I got to be getting something out the deal. Even with my children now, because my children are at the age now where the dynamics of our relationship are shifting, because I'm no longer their disciplinarian, because all my kids are grown now. You know, my girls are grown. The only one left, Courtney's going to be 21 this year, but my older two, the dynamics of our relationship have changed. I'm not going to beat Akira and Brittany no more. They 33 and 30 years old now. So I'm shifting and moving into more of being an advisor now, of being someone that they glean from, rather than just a disciplinarian and a provider. So, but I tell them, I'm more than an ATM. Don't hit me up and like, yo, dad, you got 200 and you ain't asked me how I'm doing. Because immediately my answer is going to be no. And I got it. But I ain't got it for you if you treat me like a machine. I'm human. I have feelings, and my feelings matter. And you have to understand how people compartmentalize you. You have to identify that. because I'm not interested in too many transactional relationships in my life at this age. It got to be relational, because if it's going to be transactional, that's for business. But when it comes to my personal space, I want relationship.
That's that. First of all, I don't know why I pressed the leave accent. I was trying to read the comments and stuff,
I was going to take over the show.
I saw. I said,
It don't take much.
he's gonna add podcaster to his list of
I promise you.
accomplishments.
I promise you. I'll be like, listen, turn in next week the Raw Uncut podcast with Jay Hen.
But I love what you said, because we're in a culture where relationships are taught to be more transactional. It is literally what was that? I'm pretty sure you probably danced to this during your senior prom. What have you done for me lately? What was that, Janet Jackson?
I never heard of that song.
So I feel like that's the society that we live in. We're about to celebrate my mom's 60th birthday in 2 weeks. My mother has had, I think my godfather overseer Tracy Howard is on here. My mother has had the same friends from high school up until now.
That's powerful.
I'm talking about, they went literally from Clara Barton to watching each other have children, get married, go on and move further in ministry. I call them the Glossy Posse, because now that all their kids is grown and doing whatever, they be taking trips and doing all this stuff. But I said that to say they don't make relationships and friendships like that anymore.
Nah.
And one thing my mother would share with me is that they would keep each other in check. If somebody needed prayer, if somebody needed, you don't have friendships like that no more. Now if we fall out, and I think, me personally, why I'm scared to be accountable to certain people, especially new people, is I don't trust that if we fall out, I don't trust my secrets to be safe with you.
That's the thing, man. And that's the school I come from. Like, my best friend on the planet is David Caton. That's you don't get no closer than me and him. We talk every day. We have gone literally from boys to men. You know what I'm saying? And me and Dave had a bad falling out one time. I'm talking about, it almost came to blows. And
who would have won? All right, answer that later.
Probably Dave, because he a Panamanian. He fight dirty. But we never, as crazy as it got, to this day, nobody knows. Nobody even, if I never told you that, you wouldn't even know me.
I promise you I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because I honestly forgot about it, Dre. But you know how sometimes you're sitting at the computer and you're going through old emails? I found the email, because that's how we fought. We fought via email. I mean, the stuff we were saying to each other, it hurt me like it was yesterday. I was like, dang, I can't believe we said that. I can't believe we went there. But me and Dave, you could never tell, because when people see us, when they see us talking online, it's like nothing ever happened. And that's the way it's supposed to be, because you're gonna have conflict with your peeps. You know what I'm saying? But what I've learned is it's not what I go through and not what we go through, but how we recover from what we go through that identifies, because you don't know the strength of any relationship until it's resistance. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You got good. Something that you got trying to push against you to try to destroy it. That's how you know the strength of your relationship. Because if we always agree on everything, of course we ain't going to have no issues. But what happens when we have conflict? How do we resolve? Because I believe anything can be resolved if both parties have the right mindset and want resolve. Because if you don't, that means you want resistance. And that's where, the friction keeps coming in. But yeah, man, it happens. But this culture we live in right now is wow, man. I'm like, yo, That's why I keep my circle small,
I'm telling you.
and I'm not interested in too many new relationships because I'm like, yo, y'all just different. Like, y'all gonna make the old me come out, and I'm gonna
Yo,
go in
yo,
your mouth.
and I mean, they don't have no lick. I was just sharing this with somebody the other day. I said, you know, people can say whatever they want concerning me. When it comes to, oh, he's rough around the edges and da 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 da. I said, but one thing about me, one thing the streets taught me was loyalty,
Yeah.
and that's something that everything else God could remove, but that code is something I've always and I will always stand on business when it come to that. There's just certain people that I don't, and me and that person don't even got to talk no more. I'm
Hmm.
still not gonna let you talk crazy about them around me. And I feel like, and that comes from lack of accountability.
Yeah.
we There's a culture now that says I've got to air you this stuff on. I'm like, why are we taking this stuff on social media and y'all was just arguing through text? Keep it through text or call each
Meet.
other.
Let's go meet at the park. Square up real quick.
Square. I had a best friend. I had a best friend um in from like middle school to high school. His name was Ophil. He was African,
Uh-huh.
and that was my dude. And one day he disrespected my cousin so bad that came from North Carolina, and we scrapped in front of my crib. And
Hmm.
literally the next day he rang my doorbell and was like, "Yo, you want to go to the park?" Nothing ever,
That's how it's
ever,
supposed to be. You know,
ever.
because like Bishop Reggie Boyce, when I was a kid, we used to hang out at his house in Queens. And I mean, I'm very close with Janine. We call his mom's Big Shot. This is how far back we go. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, spending the night over there, all that. And it's been years since I've seen him. But because
Well, if you would have came to my installation, he was there. But go ahead.
I didn't know nothing about
No,
it.
so, no, it's all right. You came to the first one, so I respect. So it's all right.
Okay.
You
All
got.
right. Yeah, but and Bishop Boyce was a disciplinarian in my life. At a
Wait, the
no,
father, or
Junior.
oh, what?
He was always an old young man, always, always, and he used to look at me and be like, "Jason, come in," and he would always be on my case. I'd be like, "Man, what's wrong with this guy? Like, I just want to be young. I just want to, you know what I'm saying?" But he always corrected me and always told me when I was wrong, and because of that, I haven't seen Bishop Boyce in almost physically probably 15 years. Eye to eye. But my respect level for him remains intact because he never condoned my stupidity. He always told me what was right, even when I didn't want to hear it. And I am who I am today because of people like that. I'm not perfect, but I am nowhere near what I could have been if I didn't know how to accept accountability partners, even when I didn't know what accountability was.
So let me ask you this, for those that are in romantic relationships and pursuing, so if y'all don't know, this is the part that he left out. Um Jay Hen is also a love doctor. I don't know if y'all saw that episode of Martin. But he's done women's conferences
Yes,
and has
yes,
spoken from. So this is right up his alley.
yeah.
From a romantic relationship part. What can we do when we see both parties are struggling to accept accountability for whatever it is?
First red flag is not a safe space. It's not a
Mm.
because when there's no accountability, that means there's no safe space. I can't reveal what I'm really feeling without retribution. I can't be honest with you and tell you that I'm not happy. I can't be honest and tell you that you hurt me. I can't be honest and tell you I don't want to do this no more. Because it's just going to be too much retribution, too much, you know, backlash from the lack of safety in relationship. I think that when we provide that safe space with the communication is presented with an ability to be transparent with no repercussions, you know,
Mm.
that's when accountability comes into play because I'm accountable to you. That means that I think of you before I do what I want to do. My accountability to my children when I was raising them, um, when I was young, I had my first job making almost 50 grand at 19 years old. And I understood accountability back then. I couldn't take all my money and do what my boys were doing. They was getting paid going to the strip club. They didn't have no kids. They was throwing bands of money at girls that was going to dance for them and dance for the next batch of guys that came in. And so I never liked that kind of stuff. I wanted to always have nice clothes and take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made me become disciplined in finances because I knew that I had somebody else that was depending on me to survive. So I can't do what I want to do, even though and it's not that I didn't want to go with them. I really wanted to go because that's what, my boys was into. And I just wanted to be a part of them. And to be honest, I went a few times. And when I was in there, I was like, I like my money. This ain't for me. Get out of here. And I never went. I never went back in like 20, 25 years. But it was just me understanding that somebody else is depending on my decision.
Wow.
That's what makes me accountable. If I didn't care about the people that were depending on my decision, then I would just be a whole different man. But now it's transgenerational for me now. Not only my daughters, but now I have grandkids that are depending on my decision. So I got to get to it. I don't got time to play. I don't got time to be making no crazy moves, no crazy mistakes, getting in a whole lot of gossip and all that. Ain't no money in that. And you can't write a check from gossip and take it to the bank, even if you are Larry Reid, because that's going to run out after a while too.
So what would you say? And I saw what my homegirl Jasmine wrote. she's like, they can't take accountability. They need to go to therapy. Which is something I'm definitely an advocate for. I'm definitely an advocate for
Everybody
Jesus,
should go to therapy.
for Jesus and therapy.
All of us. I go to therapy. Everybody needs to go and talk to somebody that's not going to speak in tongues. You don't need a prophetic word for what you're going through. You need professional help. You can't speak in tongues and prophesy what needs to be transpired in your life at this point. We've been there and we've done that. We can do that with the best of them. We can go to a revival and somebody lay hands on your stomach because that's the birthing place. And we do all that and pass out and we haven't changed. And we go back to doing the same thing. So therapy is absolutely necessary for all of us.
Yeah, I definitely feel like therapy is also a sign of accountability
Yeah.
because you're showing, look, I'm vulnerable. I'm liable to break. I'm liable to do something that I'm not comfortable doing. So I need some help beyond what I can do. So in we got 3 minutes left. I don't wanna hold the people up. Um Give us some last thoughts that you would have on accountability.
Check your growth environment.
Mm.
Check the people that are around you. And if they're not helping you to become the best version of who you want to be unconditionally, you got to get away from all the people in your life that you have to cut your light switch off because they can't handle how bright God made you.
Mm.
I tell people all the time, you want to be around me, you got to get your weight up. Because I've already come to the point where I saw Moses come off the mountaintop. I don't have to. He did that already. I don't gotta come down. You either come up or we see each other down the road. It's that simple because I've already tapped into a level of living that has changed my mindset from when I was in the projects and
Wow.
when I was on food stamps, growing up broke, growing up in the house where I had to wear hand-me-downs and just the rough, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing, Dre. The way I grew up, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Self-honesty, value others, keep records, take responsibility, do the right thing, act promptly with care. Those are all the greatest things in the world. But that has to start with you, because if I don't love me, I can't love you, Dre. If I don't honor me, I can't honor you. If I don't honor, and I tell people all the time, if you're dealing with anybody, watch how they treat their parents if their parents are still alive. That speaks volumes of their core values. That
Mm.
speaks volumes. The way young ladies talk to their fathers, I pay attention to that. If you're not compassionate with your dad, you got to kick rocks, shorty. We ain't got nothing to talk about. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care how dope you are. Your lips, hips, and fingertips could be blah, 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 all that. But if your father is still alive and you dishonor your pops, I don't stand a chance. That man gave you life. And same thing for young ladies. If the young man you're dealing with, his mom is still alive, watch how he takes care of his mom. Watch how he talks to his mother, because that's what you are lining up for. Period, point blank. So I check my growth environment. I check the people that are around me. And again, I'm into fair exchange now. Like my boy Stephen Marshall, another one of my closest friends. We do crazy stuff like this dude. I don't know if he was in Dubai, got it from Dubai. I don't know, but he got me my first bottle of cologne from Dubai. And I ain't never smelled nothing like this. And I didn't ask him. He's like, yo, yes, I got you something. And then what it did was it made me want to step my cologne game up. I was like, hold up. This dude ain't going to have one up on me. So I got some joints from Dubai. And I was like, yo, Marshall, I got you something. Because what it does, the Bible talks about iron sharpening iron.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it does, man. So if you around losers,
Wow.
you're going to be a loser. If you got, I'm always around cats that got more money than me. Always. I'm always around people that know more than me. That's why I stay connected to Bishop Loho. He's a freaking brainiac. Like, it's crazy. I don't disconnect from people that are better than me because I'm not insecure. I'm like, yo, you great at that. But if you put me in my lane, I promise you, I'll crush you with no apologies. And I want you to be the same thing in your lane. And when we come together, it's unbeatable, bro. So that's what it looks like for me. Just finding people where I can be myself, that understand. I got you, Marshall. That ain't nothing but a word, brother. Make some time, my guy. I owe you something for your birthday too. But that's what it's about, man. Finding people where you can be yourself and the potential of who you are to be, Andre, is worth me becoming an accountability partner for you. If I thought you was trash, if I thought you wasn't going nowhere, that's why the enemy fights you so bad, bro. Because your impact is that deep, it's that huge. You know what I'm saying? The amount of people and the caliber of people that you have the potential to reach, I may never reach. So I have to preserve you because of the possibility. And as long as there's a possibility, I'm gonna cover you, bro.
Yo, can y'all shout out my big bro overseer Jason Hendrickson? This is the conversations that people are terrified to have. Wait, what did Marshall say? The last time I was with Dre got me.
I believe it because
Yo,
Dre think he Crip. I had to pray him out. I had to pray. I know some of your Crip friends are watching, but y'all can't have him back. I already prayed him out of the Crips.
yo,
He's covered by the blood now.
yo, this
All
man
right.
does this man does not let this story go. This was like 7 or 8 years ago.
I
Let
met
it
Dre. He
go.
was doing all this. I said, the blood of Jesus. Put them fingers down.
Yo. But I thank God for my big bro, man. He's definitely been one that has held me accountable. And you find people like this. In this season, you are going to need people that's going to hold you accountable. Accountability doesn't mean I'm jealous of you. It doesn't mean I'm trying to stop your growth. What I'm trying to do is I want you to grow at a pace where I don't want you to harm yourself.
Right.
I thank God for people like that. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to our first episode in 3 years. And we thank God for that. Pastor
We're not
James
gonna call out. We're not gonna call out Bishop Butler for flaking on us. Now,
and this is an
no
example
accountability. No
of
accountability.
accountability.
Bishop Robert Butler is unaccounted for tonight, and he gonna probably say, in his bishop voice, my class went over, brother.
No,
Man,
yo, what's
he supposed to
crazy
be here.
is it Crystal? Yeah, Crystal.
Yeah, manager. Yeah, manager. Where's your artist at? Where is Bishop Robert Vincent Butler?
Yo,
Where is he?
and I'm letting y'all know this is what he would do through text message.
Amen.
He would show up. Now, back in the day, we would just show up where we knew you was at.
Right.
Whether you was at your church office and be
Right. Like, hello.
Yeah.
He's at dinner. What?
Yeah. Oh, shout out to my bro, the producer of this show, Bishop Lord Holt. If you have, I didn't book through you. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to. Now I know.
That's a whole nother story.
Right.
And by the way, yo, Butler, my brother, I'm joking. I really love Bishop Butler. Huge inspiration to me. He got a new joint coming out.
Yes.
February 13th, I think. February 13th or 14th, probably the 14th, on Valentine's Day. A new album called Family Dynamics. I'm telling y'all, I was at the listening party.
I didn't get an invitation, and I don't know how.
Let me tell you something, Dre, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I hated the idea when he told me what he was doing. I hated it. I was the one that was totally against this project, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to the listening party, and they'll tell you I sat there. I didn't say anything the whole night. That's rare for me. I always got something to say, especially about music.
Right.
But I sat there, and I gotta be honest. This is some of L's best work.
Wait, it's better than
the
first
best
album?
The best project that he has done to date.
Wow.
Even though I'm not on it.
Wow.
I'm on all his projects.
Right.
But
right.
I'm telling you, I told him, and I'm gonna be honest. I told him, I said, I can't listen to this no more. I started feeling all kind of stuff. I said, I don't want to feel like that. Get out of here. So big shout out to Bishop Robert Butler and Arms Entertainment and everybody that was a part of, because this is what accountability looks like too, bro. When I can not be fearful to push what you're doing as if it's my own thing.
Right.
That's a part of accountability too, because it's my job to promote my brothers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I want everybody on Valentine's Day, download, stream it, get it. Family Dynamics is going to bless you, especially y'all married couples that's beefing and stuff. Y'all check it out. It's going to be
his story his story is so amazing, and that's honestly why I wanted him to come out here. But he said he's apparently he's at dinner because like me and Jay don't got to eat.
Yeah,
but
I got some lamb chops waiting for me right now.
well, yeah, I'm gonna make me some burgers. I'm gonna have to call you on the side. You're gonna have to give me some recipes so I can.
We gotta step your cooking game up, bro.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I'm baby steps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all. Jay, do you got anything coming out? Anything coming up? Is there anywhere they should look for you real quick?
Yeah. I got some new music coming out. I'm producing Ali Sales' next single.
Woo!
It's crazy.
Woo!
Joint called Move. she's gonna take over the charts, bro.
Ali
It's
Sales
go
is
time.
right, yo. It's crazy. I was just before the show started. I was just listening to "You Won't Let Me Fall."
Well, she's
The
not Ali Sales no more. I meant to tell you, she's Alex Sales now. No more Ali, it's Alex. So we're promoting her.
oh, Alex. Okay,
Alex Sales.
okay.
And my new single is about to come out this spring called I Decree. And it is, all I'm saying is roll your windows down, drop the convertible top, and turn it up because
Okay,
it's a banger. It's a
okay,
banger. Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So we think
Oh,
our
Drake,
best.
I forgot to tell you. And I'm in my first movie.
Wait, what?
I'm in my first movie. I can't tell y'all, but I'm filming this Thursday. This is my first acting. I wanted to do it. I kept it quiet,
My
but
brother.
yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm talking about. So y'all already see how Pastor Dre do it. I hang with people that's doing big things. So you know what I'm
Order your
saying?
banana pudding. You ain't get no banana pudding yet, Dre. What's wrong with you?
Jason, you forgot me, Dwayne, and L was all in your office.
It was so long ago, I don't remember.
First of all, I was the first one to have the parfait.
But all right, but you gotta re-up. It's
I
like the
do.
drug, like the drug game. You gotta re-up.
Do you do drop offs? Because I'm all the way in South Jersey.
Let me tell you.
Matter of fact, I could just pick it up from your church. Your church is right around the corner from
Right
mine.
around the corner. Because if I come to South Jersey, it's gonna cost you.
Trust me, it already cost me when I when I come. Yo,
I
say no
promise you.
more. I appreciate you, big bro.
All right,
Yo,
Joe.
we going out. If y'all hear that in the background, that's the joint me and Big J did. So I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all for turning in, and see us next Monday. Same bat time, same bat
How you
channel.
do it, Dre? How you do it? Like
Oh no, I'm not. Yo, salute. I love
love
y'all.
you, boy.
Deuces.
One.